Hello, dear people. So, I've been getting this news feeds on my phone um, that there has been, we've heard about floods in several parts of the globe. We've also heard about fire breakouts in different parts of the world. Um, from my perspective, um, I I facilitate life. My inquiry is into the movement of life, the dynamism of life, what, mm, how life comes about, what's the movement of life, how life transits, what's a transition, how's the reformation, how's the transformation, what is the essence of life? These are my inquiries. And what accounts for a good way of living, a way of living that is supported by life in the universe and in a way that we as individuals having life support life at large. So that's my inquiry. And in this process, I arrive at several I have arrived at several basic building blocks which is essential to maintain life and to sustain life and to be sustainable by life in the universe. And now this is the basic building block which most of us know, and that is called as the five elements or the panchabhootas. Earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. I also include space. I also include intention. So in my count of the basics of life, I would count seven. I call it. I think there are seven basic building blocks of life. At least for a human being, this is very much true. So I will speak in these terms. Now, earth, water, fire, air, and spirit constitutes the essential ingredients of just about everything that exists, that has life, that exists in either living form or non-living form. There are these elements, and in light of the several disturbances in nature and in our own individual constitutions, I've noticed that it helps a lot to maintain our five basic building blocks, which is common and similar throughout the universe, earth, water, fire, air, spirit. And I have a way by which I maintain the panchabhootas, the five elements, in my own constitution. I call it in my universe. We each have our own personal universe, which comprises of the people who are part of our universe, of the world that we inhabit or the world we see. And each person has, now this may seem a little complex, but each person is the central hero or heroine of their own lives, and then we have several primary relationships, our parents, then we have our siblings, then we have our friends, colleagues, and so on, extended family, and friends, and then we have neighbors, and then we have, say, the community people, and then we have the country people, and then we have the continent people, and we have people on the earth. So depending on how our relationship with each is, we have our circles. So we have our world, we have our universe. So how is our personal universe depends on how is our health and relationship with each of these several spheres by which we are related, by which we are called as social beings. Now, I have prepared for my own maintenance a certain chart by which I can regularly keep cleansing the five elements that makes me, that makes my building blocks or my panchabhootas. I call it, in the work that I do, that is Nirbija Yoga, I call it as Tattva Shuddhi. And it's a method by which I maintain the five elements in my body. I maintain the seven elements, but let me just stay with the reference to the 5 elements because that would be more easily connectable with. So I invite you, okay, I'll show you what I've done. Maybe that's going to give some ideas. So I have, have a calendar that I've made, the same calendar, we have a 12 months. And I've kind of marked it with some colors by which you can say which is earth, which is fire, which is water, spirit, and air. And then I have my own personal practices by which I maintain it through what I call as Nirbija Yoga. So it's a certain breathing technique. It's a combination of pranayama, asana, and dhyana, but it is not done separately as pranayama, asana, and dhyana. It's like it's a super mixed combination that has all the three, and I practice all the three at once. So it's a different way of doing yoga. It's pretty well. I wouldn't call it as simple because it has several parts, and hence it is simply complex, and it is complexly simple. So so I'll just leave it there because we don't want to get. I don't want it to get the information be too much because it could be a little big bite, to chew on. So for now, I invite you to look at what would enable you. Actually, I'm saying this so that I invite everybody on planet Earth to have our own individual means by which to, individual collective means by which we maintain the 5 elements, the tattva, the 5 basic building blocks, which constitute just about all that exists, to find our own ways to maintain it. Because when there's an imbalance in the microcosm, it shows up as an imbalance in the macrocosm. So when we take time to maintain our own basic building blocks, it has a domino effect on the planet, on the universe, so, and in the schema of things. So I invite each one of us to recognize that we are not just a human being, we are not just a person. We are part of a whole. And what we do, when we do the right thing, we are also adding on in a butterfly effect to setting something right in the world, in the universe. So I invite you to formulate your own way, whatever means that you can see. I can help you with the work that I do on how this can be possible. There are other means too. There are other people who are talking about Tattva Shuddhi, about maintaining the 5 elements. Whatever works for you, whatever suits you best. But I invite you to practice this because you make a difference. You matter. You're a microcosm, an important part of what constitutes the world and the universe. So please contribute in this way by taking care of yourself, taking care of your own your basic building blocks. And all will be well. By every effort of yours, every effort counts. Every effort in the right direction to set something right, to make something better, to make life better for yourself and for others counts. Thank you for listening.